All right, let's see here. There, go there. Looks like it's working. All right, more good times. The exciting PDFs. And still on witness statements. I don't think, gotten to any of the employees yet of the MGM. That's when things will get interesting. But for now, that's what we got. Detective Quinteros, Force Investigation Team. Yeah, okay. I think we've seen him before. Date of birth. This guy's a British citizen. Passport number. Okay. Let's see. Today's date, October 2nd, 1 in the afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon. Statement is being recorded. Statement is being conducted at the Luxor Hotel. I don't care where it's at. Let's see. It's for Plunts. I don't know how to fuck pronounce that. I think we've seen him, or we do see him later. Some other stuff. All right. Probably guess you advise some officers that you may have had an encounter with a subject that may have been involved in an incident from last night. Can you tell us about it? All right. I first decided to speak to a security guard because I've been on a tour this morning to Hoover Dam. On the way back, I mentioned to one of the passengers on the tour that I had an unusual conversation with a man 2 nights ago, the night before the shooting, and I said he had some strange things. He said some strange things. I can't do a British accent. It's too early in the fucking morning. Let's see, the night before the shooting, and I said he said some strange things. I says, I wish they would put his face up so I could see if it was the guy I had a conversation with. Okay. Gentleman I was sitting beside had got his face up on his mobile phone. Mobile phone. Yeah, he's British when he says mobile phone. And he said, "Is that him?" And it looked very similar to the gentleman that I'd spoken to. But he didn't. I don't remember a beard. And the guy in the photograph had a beard. But the gentleman I spoke to said he was an ex-cop, and he says, well, if you had a weird conversation with someone the night before and he looked like him, I think you should have a word with somebody. So I said, as the Jeep pulled into the hotel, he pulled into a panda car or a police car. Panda car. Huh. That's what they call them? That's cool. He says, I have a word with, I don't know where what this guy's talking about. No, it's okay. I'll just have a word with security guard inside the hotel because they could just possibly get the footage open and see if it wasn't him. And it wouldn't bother you guys, Okay. So I had a word with the concierge and I grabbed the security person walking by while I was waiting, and they give me to somebody else, and they had given me to you to speak. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with this encounter with this individual. Please do, Jesus. Right. Well, I spoke whenever they start a sentence with right. Hey, what's up? What's up? It's a fucking British guy. Right. Well, I spoke. I must have spoken to him for well over an hour. And I said goodbye to him around 9:30 because he said he was going to see a show at 10:30. And I said to him, well, you've got just about an hour before your show starts. So I must have spoke to him somewhere around, say, 7:40, something like that, perhaps 8 o'clock delay. So I was speaking to him over an hour. This is the night before last. This was the night before the shooting. This was the first night I arrived, so we're talking about Saturday. I've only been here 2 nights. Okay. First of all, before I go any further, I believe he's talking about PM, not AM, because he's talking about a show. So we're talking about 8 o'clock at night. So let's see. Well, I got this on here. May as well if I share it with everybody since I got people here watching. Okay, so let's share screen. Let's go to let's go to the tab with the fit report. All right. Hopefully that shows up. All right, there it goes. Let's see. So let's see. It wasn't 29th. Would have been the 30th. Okay. The 30th. Let's see. Paddock traveled ski twice from Mandalay Bay. Paddock put do not disturb signs. Both rooms 135, 134. Paddock gambled for a couple hours and brought more suitcases up to his room. Let's see. Paddock. So time in question. What, 6 o'clock or something like that? At 15:20, Paddock was seen in the guest elevator with 2 rolling suitcases and took them to his room. So he went up to the room 15:20. 1952. All right, so let's see. We got a gap there. We have a gap, and let's see. So that's almost 8 o'clock though. So this guy's saying you talked to him when? All right, this guy's saying spoke to him about around 9:30. He said he left him about 9:30. All right, so Pag drove Mandalay Bay to Mesquite and arrived at almost 9 o'clock. Okay, so according to the narrative, Paddock was in Mesquite at the time this guy was talking to Paddock, whatever. Okay. All right. Well, let's continue on. Let's see what this fucking weirdo had to say. And because at this point, I don't think he was talking to Paddock. He even doesn't think it was Paddock. After he's shown a picture, so yeah, I don't believe it's Paddock. Okay, so let's see. Spoke to him. This was the night before last, night before the shooting. This is the night I arrived. I've only been here 2 nights. Okay, this is the night before the shooting. Yeah, it's the night before the shooting. Yes. Okay, we get it, dude. We get it. Where was it at? Where'd you meet him? Right, I went up the escalator and there was a monolith in front of me with some seats around it. All right, so he must be talking about in the Luxor. Oh shit! I wish fucking Hunter was still around because I don't remember what the girl in the Luxor. That was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I don't remember what day that was. Let's see. I sat at the base of the monolith, and I was facing an advertisement for a Titanic exhibition. It's still there. Know exactly where he's at. Yeah, it's upstairs in the Luxor on the way to the Mandalay Bay. I said 9:30 a.m. or p.m. When I said goodbye to him, it was nighttime. Yeah, that's what I figured. So let's see, what was the conversation, or where did you have that conversation at with him? People just talk to random fucking strangers. I don't know, man. I don't do that. Let's see. Paddock doesn't seem like the type of guy to talk to some random ass dude for an hour. Yeah, I mean, I guess British people are just nicer than we are. But here in California, man, you don't do shit like that, dude. You just don't. You fucking mind your own business. But whatever. Let's see. So he's sitting down, resting. So I was sitting down, resting my legs. Fucking, this guy's a pirate all of a sudden. Because I've been walking for the majority of the day. And he just came down besides me. He says, "Oh, I've got to either said I'm going to rest my bones or I'm going to rest my legs." And I said to him something like, "Yeah, I know mine are tired as well." And then we struck a conversation. I can't remember who spoke first, really, but immediately as soon as we started talking, he started talking about religious things. Probably not Paddock. Talking to me about God. I've had people come up to me, start doing this fucking bullshit where they come up and start saying, the end is fucking coming and you better repent today because God is going to fucking strike everybody down in the morning. So it's kind of weird shit does happen. He started quoting stories from the Bible about people who were down on their luck, but God had come to save them. The couple of stories I remember, one mentioned Job being afflicted with lots of boils and having a miserable life. He says, yeah, God saved him. And he also mentioned a story in the Bible about, he brought the story about some guy sacrificed his son. Is that Abraham? Is that Abraham? I think it was Abraham. Let's see. I think it was Abraham. Let's see. God saved his son at the last minute by replacing it with a lamb. Is that what happened? I thought he stopped the knife. Whatever. And then the conversation turned. We did talk in the middle about his personal life. He said, I can't remember what order we talked about it, but there's like, so what if there's another dude? Because Paddock, male pattern baldness, not a fucking, very rare. Big, tall, fucking white dude with balding hair. Not a fucking, not a rare fucking thing to see in Vegas, man. Middle aged, not a rare thing to fucking see in Vegas. Let's see, but I can't remember the exact age that he mentioned. He said he's younger than 65. Okay. He said he'd been in the Army for 4 years in the cavalry, not Paddock. I thought it was helicopters when he first mentioned it. He goes, no, I drove tanks. Yeah, he didn't say air cavalry. He said cavalry. All right. He said that he'd been married twice. Okay, yeah, that matches. He said that his second wife. Oh, I think was Pat married 3 times. He might have been married 3 times. I don't remember. He said his second wife had drunk herself to death on vodka. Not Paddock. He had a son who he'd hardly ever seen. He'd only seen him a couple of weeks, and that he told. He'd been told through a relative, might be a relative of his first wife, that his son was in prison, currently in prison. Not Paddock. Actually, this sounds like a family member of mine. This actually does. That's crazy. And he actually does kind of have a little bit of resemblance. Not really, but same baldness. Although he died last year? But yeah, that does actually sound like him, man. He's got a kid in prison and shit. Let's see. So he says so he's in prison, and then he starts talking about how he tried to kill himself by burning himself to death in a dumpster. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a family member of mine. Let's see. He lit a fire in a dumpster and wanted to burn himself to death, but he says the pain got unbearable. He was going to pass out, so he crawled out of the dumpster. Whew. Okay. Yeah, this person's a fucking nut job. But when he said that, I looked at him and I looked at his body. He was wearing a tee, like a t-shirt, some long shorts, and I couldn't see any burns or anything on his face. You probably won't because it sounds like bullshit. Although I did notice he had a scar across the side of his face, which it was like a line. Really, I don't know what it was. It was just like a line, his face, across which kept my eye kept being drawn to it when I was speaking to him. Okay, not Paddock. Definitely not Paddock. He also had, sometimes when he was speaking to me. He was like, his voice was slightly slurred, as if he'd been like an alcoholic or a drug abuser in the past. Sounds like present as well. And he wasn't quite there. Yeah, he's not a drug abuser in the past. He is present. Also, he said, what else did he say? So he says he was wearing a t-shirt and he was wearing pants. So yeah, I don't know. I guess yeah, polo shirts could be t-shirts. He also said, what else did he say? He said he wanted to die. And I says, no, no, you don't want to die. I says, life's wonderful. And I tried to tell him good things about life. He kept staring at me. He had a very disconcerting stare. Every once in a while, he'd look normal, and then his eyes would fix on you, and he's just have like a cold stare. Oh, first I was thinking meth. Now I'm thinking, I don't know, not too sure. And he said to me, "How old are you?" And I said to him, "I'll be 54 in November." And he says, "You look a lot older than 54." Oh, that's a nice fucking compliment. And he says, "You look way older than 54." I goes, "Oh, really, really?" He goes, "Yeah, you look way older than 54." And he said, "You've got very low blood sugar." I says, "Have I?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "I can tell." He says, "You're bald." I think it took me out of some time in the conversation. He goes, "You're bald." He says, "You've got no hair." He says, "I can tell just by looking at you, you've got very low blood sugar." Whatever. Something else he mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned already. He said the woman that he's currently with is demanding sex off him all the time. He's very unhappy about that. All right. He's ranted on about more about religion, and that's about all the conversation we had, but it seemed to last a long time. They talk about hurting anybody. Come on, dude. At this point, this cop should know he's got the wrong fucking person. But whatever. He's playing into it. Let's see. No, he didn't talk about hurting people. I noticed in reflection that his Bible stories all seem to be about God intervening. I noticed when he was talking about people, he seemed to down on his luck, down on their luck, or about how people have conversations with God and God to seem to save everyone. He was talking about, which I thought was a bit one-sided, how God seems to. Because I remember saying to him, "Well, God isn't in my life. I don't speak to God. I don't hear Him. I don't see no evidence of God." And he seemed to think that all the stories he was telling about was God having a relationship with people and intervening. Kito was wearing is wear a t-shirt, and he was like, I think it was a t-shirt. It could have been like a vest thing, and he was wearing like those long shorts that people wear down to their kneecaps. Not paddock. What was color? I seem to remember it was either like a khaki brown or kind of green. That's kind of like a very light, like olive green. Okay, but it wasn't the kind of green that I'm wearing. It was kind of like a khaki-ish or green or khaki-ish brown. If there can be such, yeah, you can describe him for us. Let's see. Yeah, he was like the photograph. He was a slim gentleman. Paddock was not slim. So we definitely got the wrong guy. He was tanned, seemed to have straight nose, medium eyes. Don't seem to be too big or too small. He had a silverish hair, and that's all I can remember really. He seemed to be the same type of gentleman that I was. The guy but I couldn't remember his beard being so long. The same type of gentleman I what? Perhaps he had a bit of stubble or something when he was speaking to me, but I didn't think he had a beard. Yeah, this sounds like a waste of time. Let's see, a scar on his mouth. Let's see. I was sitting talking to him, and I think it might have been the right. It just seemed to be a line from the side, wherever it was. Wherever it was, I was talking to him. It was on the outside of the conversation. We had the monolith to our back, and it seemed to be on the side that was facing outwards. Um, it was an old scar. It looked like a line, just like I don't know, whatever, dude. Let's see. It just seemed a line that was catching the light. I don't know what it was. Let's see, like a line across the face, but it wasn't a gash like a big scar. It was. It went a long way. It seemed to go a long way, but it didn't seem to be particularly. It seemed to be thin. It just seemed to be catching the light all the time because it was like a low light environment, you know. Let's see, slurred speech, as if he might have been high, but he didn't look as if he was high. He looked like he might have been abusing his body in the past, and perhaps he was only half there now. You know what I mean? So, talking about perma fried. All right, all right. Let's see, but the guy on Paranoid, you know, that guy who sings Paranoid, he's always come across as always being half there. The guy who sings Paranoid. I don't know what that. I don't know who that is. Is there anything you may have said or done during your interaction that sticks out? Maybe he might be dangerous. Oh well, fucking talk about burning himself in a dumpster. Yeah, I would think that would be fucking a little strange. Let's see what I felt. I felt that he was staring. When he was staring at us, I felt as if he was thinking about something like perhaps hurting us. You know. He was just like a very cold stare, like I'm gonna like hit this guy or something. It's kind of cold, heartless stare. And there was just the fact that he'd hurt him, he hurt himself, and then he started talking about me, and it was because he was starting to talk about me. I became a bit unguarded, like uncomfortable, as if he was trying to hurt me feelings. I love this guy. He's like a fucking pirate. And be a bit probing about us. And I thought to myself, this guy is trying to find chinks in my armor, and he's trying to like hurt us. So I just sort of like said me goodbyes, and asked him about the show. He said he was going to see a show that had girls in it. He's going to strip club. And he said it began with he said the word. I only caught the F in the beginning, but the other guy said it was a show that he knew the name of, and he said it started at 10:30. So I just got up and says, "Well, you've got it's 9:30 now, so you've got an hour, and like I hope enjoy yourself." Kind of think I just walked away from him. That's about everything. All right. He talked to your girlfriend. I talked about a girlfriend. He said he had a girlfriend, but but all he said was she was younger than him. Okay. Um, and that she's demanding sex off him. And he seemed to be unhappy about her always demanding sex off him. Oh shit. Okay. No, he never said anything else. That was all he said about his girlfriend. Um, let's see. You know, he never said he's talking about living with her. He never said that was literally all he said on the subject of his girlfriend. Let's see. No more questions. He wearing glasses. No, he wasn't wearing glasses. Wow, they're asked about the glasses. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Wonder when Paddock wore glasses, because we don't usually we haven't seen any pictures with him and the glasses, but we do have the glasses case, I believe, in the room. Huh? I don't know. To look into that. Let's see. No, I don't think he was wearing a hat. I would have remembered a hat. I don't remember any tattoos either. I can't because I don't like tattoos, and I would have remembered if he had tattoos, but I can't remember if he had them or not. Let's see. Did you ever say where he wasn't from here? I did ask him, but I can't remember where he said he was from. But it wasn't from Vegas. Did he talk about any other places he might have lived? No, he just said he worked on the railroad for a year, and the company he worked for went bankrupt. Huh? Wonder who that is. Um, And then he talked about these lines that he hammered in. He says those lines go for about a quarter of a mile, and they kept buckling. And he says that the company went bust. I don't know who that is. Huh. That's interesting. So I didn't know that was something to do with the company went bust and the lines. But it doesn't fucking matter because who cares who this fucking guy is? Let's see. Said he had a son in prison. He said he had a son, but he'd only see him for like a couple of weeks, like, and he was mentioned a number of weeks, and I can't remember how many weeks it was. He says I've got a son, and the impression it was by his first wife, and he says I've only seen him like so many weeks, and he says, and I've been told by he said it was a relative, but I got an impression it was perhaps his first wife's sister, assuming he had contacted him and told him his son was in prison. Okay, say where he's in prison or why? Nope. What about his son? Or so he was divorced from his second wife, or was he still married? His second wife had died of drinking vodka, he said. Second wife did. Second wife died of drinking vodka. Okay. Let's see. He just said he was married twice and his second wife died. He say anything about his girlfriend or friend? Okay, so yeah, I guess that does match a little bit of Paddock. Yeah, all right. He said his brother had died in his arms. He says, my brother had died. He says he died right there in his arms. And he pointed to his chest and says he had a badness in his chest. And then he was referring to badness as being evil, like evil and stuff. And he says, I don't believe people catch diseases. I believe it's evil that's in people. That's why people get ill. Whew. Okay. Um, Let's see. Did he say he lives in Vegas now? Blah blah. Nope. Let's see. What about where's he staying? What hotel? Nope. No, I don't remember where he said he was originally from. No, it was from Vegas because I remember thinking everybody I meet in Vegas isn't from Vegas. Everybody seems to move here. Yeah. And just like you said, everybody you meet here who is by himself is English. What? What? I just remember thinking this is another person who moved here. Did he say anything about any other family members, any brother? Nope. Just one prison, daughters. Just a son in prison. No, he didn't mention any daughters. He did mention two wives, and he was speaking to his wives or relative who told him that his son was in prison and gave him the impression that he was, because I think he was a little bit confused on the subject himself, and he says it was his wife's first sister or first wife's mother who told him his son was in prison, currently in prison. All right, so this I think is done on day 2. I think this was done on the this interview was done on the 2nd. All right, so I guess the cops don't really know what the fuck is going on with Paddock at this point. So yeah, they may actually think that this is serious. Um, let's see, no backpack. Did he look disheveled? He looked as if he was down and out. Probably a homeless dude. Um, he can be. I thought I says I because I met a lot of homeless people since I've been in America. Welcome to America, fucker. And I thought he was another homeless person sitting down. But his actual T-shirt and his shorts look clean, which I remember thinking they look really clean for a down and out. Because I thought he was down and out. Let's see, money problems. No, didn't talk about that. He said he was rich, poor, anything like that. Nope, he never said uh, he wasn't. He never said. He said he wasn't working. He said he didn't have a job. He gave me the impression that he only had a job in the military, where he was a soldier for 4 years in the cavalry driving tanks, and then he had a job on the railway, and then he seems to say, "But I heard nothing after that." That's the impression he gave me. I don't think he actually said that he didn't have any other job, but he did give me the impression that was the dead end of his working career. Okay, last question. Anything else sticks on your mind? Can you help the investigation? Let's see. Oh God, please stop talking. Just the fact that the only thing that I thought was unusual was the fact that he was talking about the Bible, and then he was talking about going to see a show with girls in it. And I just thought the two were a stark contrast from one another, of course, because he's bullshitting you. Being a religious person, thinking about God a lot, and then wanting to go see a show about girls, it seems to be contradictory. Let's see. I just thought, well, that's unusual that somebody who's talked so much about the Bible, And afterwards, I thought all the stories had talked about the Bible seemed to be about somebody coming down and actually physically doing some intervening, which I thought none of them were. None of the other stories were about anything else other than somebody coming down and intervening. It seemed a bit. That's what I thought was unusual about all of his Bible stories. Somebody was having a conversation with God, and then God would do something for him, and it would make his life totally miserable. And then he would like gift him with an extra life or something. Okay, yeah, all right. Dude's a fucking nut job. Dude's a nut job. And that's pretty much all there was to that. Did somebody okay? So reviewed by B8884K. I hate that fucking. I don't know who the fuck that is. All right, so 10/24 2017. So yeah, it seems like what I'm seeing here is all the ones that had some sort of context to be checked out later were checked in 2018, and all of these that really don't have a lot of context, like this one, we know is bullshit. We know that's not Paddock. So once they got all the information in, this B88 whatever the fuck stormtrooper looked at this thing and said, this ain't fucking important because this is the wrong guy, and never passed it down the fucking chain. So I never got to I don't remember, fucking Ronald McDonald, whatever the fuck that guy's name is, that checked a lot of these. All right, so Hodson usually has some decent ones, and I think they're in hospitals usually. Let's see, Mandalay Bay, conducted at Mandalay Bay. All right, this might be interesting. Conference room down in human resources. Oh shit, we're getting into employees. So briefly before we turn the corner on, just a quick synopsis. Can you remember from October 1st, 2017, were you working that night? Yes, I was working that night. I was on lunch down in the EDR. Not sure what that is. Down here, when the calls started coming over the radio, that I remember someone that I was hit. I'm hit. So I'm like, okay, so something ain't right. So I get up, put my tray up, start walking towards beach level through the basement area. At that time, more information was coming, and our dispatchers just redacted. Said that outside units, because they're armed, respond up to 32nd floor, just the 32nd floor. And I don't know how they received more information. I think Redacted had told me later that he had called dispatch on the phone. So 32nd floor. There's all kinds of controversy that I've been dealing with various people as far as the 31st floor, why they went to the 31st floor, whether they had something telling them that something was happening on the 29th floor in the beginning of this thing. I know there was later, but this sounds like it was just 32nd floor. They knew where it was. They knew what was going on. They knew that one of the security guards was hit on 32nd floor. Okay. Letting them know that either he got hit with a pellet gun or he got hit with something out of 32135. At that time, everybody, all the outside units responded up. All the units remained on the casino because obviously we're not armed. Okay, so what he's saying is the unarmed security. So this guy is probably a security guard. Unarmed security stayed casino level to watch the casino as the shit was happening, and the armed guards were the ones that had to go up. I'm slowly, and I mean very slowly, walking to beach level because obviously he's hit. We're going to roll paramedics, and if we roll paramedics, we roll them up the upper valet area. and then walk them up. So I'm all right. I'll slowly walk over there, and when everything settles down, this guy's a pussy. This guy's a bitch. But at least he admits it, dude. He's got some, you know, he's good at admitting that. Let's see. At that moment, as soon as I hit the where the bathrooms are, by beach area, beach level valet, I see two police officers responding. One's carrying. They're both in the brown uniform. One just had like a traffic vest on, and the other already had his an AK, no, his AR. All right, so there's the bicycle cops. Geez, I can't remember their names now, but yeah, there they are. And so they're where's security? Where's security? We need to get up to the room. And I'm like, hey, security is behind you. So he turns around and is like, get us up to the room. I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, let's go. So I take him down to 200 wings elevator, because that's our baggage service elevator. So I take him down 200 wings. Okay. All right. Yeah. So service elevator. Because I took them up there. Less traffic. So we know who this security guard is too. He'd be on camera. In fact, yeah, I remember what he looks like. Let's see. So I took them up there. Less traffic, less guests. So I take them up, and by the time I had heard over the radio that our shift supervisor Sottle, oh, I love Sottle, and two bike officers were already up there. What? All right. So who's he taking up? Oh, yeah, because Sottle didn't go up with bike officer. Sottle went up with Farson and Hendricks, and I don't see Hendricks riding a bicycle. So yeah, I think he's a little confused here. So I told two officers and said, hey, they're friendly already there. 2-3 of my guys, please don't shoot them. So we start going down the hallways, and I said, hey, you're in a different hallway. I'm gonna get you to the center, and off to the left will be that at the very end of the room that that's reported the shots are coming from. I made it just to the center core, and luckily the officer had told me afterwards that he did not hear any more gunshots, because if not, he would have probably continued into the room. So he heard over his radio that there's still officers that needed to be escorted up. He's like, go get the rest of my guys. So I'm running down the hall, going down, and there's another, let's see, another 4, 6, no, it's like 6 guys, all in civilian clothes, but with their vests, their Metro vests, with police vests on. And we just gotten a call about our Crystal Room, which is our high limits lounge. Really? Is that is that what they call the high limit? Or is there something special I don't know about? I don't know. Let's see. Is police vest on? Let's see. Metro vest. It's like 6 guys, all in civilian clothes. Huh. I don't know what he's talking about there. Let's see. I mean, there's the one guy with his fucking jeans that's sitting in the hallway, but no. I think that's the crew he's talking about. But I thought they had uniforms on. Oh, it's crazy. Let's see that there was an active shooter there, so I told him, you guys want to clear that. It's right down the casino. It's on the other side. It's right down here. You guys want to make a quick sweep. The guys in charge said, let's go. They take their quick sweep of it. All right, goes up to the damn room. What? Fuck did you just say? There was an active shooter there. So I told them, you guys want to clear that. Now you're telling the cops what to do? It's right down the casino. It's not on the other side. It's right down there. You guys want to make a quick sweep. The guy in charge said, let's go. They take their quick sweep of it. All right, goes up to the damn room. Crystal Room. Okay, so the Crystal Room must be that elevator in the... Shit, what is that? That's the 300 wing? I think it's 300 wing. That's that elevator. And I think that might be the Crystal Room. Not sure. Okay, so And that was crystal room, okay, or baccarat high limits or high limits. We have several names for it. Okay, baccarat, really? You guys fucking throw baccarat at all your high limit people? That's slightly racist. Let's see. I'm not gonna explain why. Let's see. No, that's on the casino level. Baccarat high limits. We have several names for it. Okay, and that's up on 62. No, that's on the casino level. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I know where it's at. All right. Yeah, that's where the high limit tables are. Okay. That's our high limits lounge. So they did a quick sweep. One says, "Dude, I smell a gunpowder. I smell it, but it must have been coming from the vents, or who knows where it was coming from." And Wright goes up to the room. We start running again through the casino to the front desk, and I took them up again to the service elevator, and I told them like, "Hey, there's already two Metro officers here. The fuck is this, man? This is crazy." Because it sounds like this dude like took the cops back down, but now it sounds like that's not what happened. It sounds like he radioed down to the cops that were down waiting to come up, and then they're the ones that went and cleared the crystal room, which I think is probably what happened. But the way he just said this made it sound like he went down there with these cops. Let's see, which I didn't think happened. So that's why it's confusing as hell. There's three of my guys, but I think at that time, I think there was already 4 or 5 Manly based security. All right. Let's see. They get up there like, "Hey, stay with us." I'm like, "I really don't want to, guys. Like, I just have a shirt on, man. If somebody starts shooting at me, that's it." Oh, you're a pussy. So I stayed in the middle of the bones, and I said, "All right, guys, just keep going down. It's a different hallway." Uh, yeah, I'm having a hard time following this. Like visually, I'm having a hard time following this. The 135 is off to the left. It's at the very end, and then they met up with them, and then okay, so he went and talked to other cops, told other cops it's down that way. All right, I think that's what's going on. Hey, go get more guys. Just keep bringing people up. And this is, I would probably say, even say it a 3 minute window, no more than 5 minute window that people just responded like crazy because festival's right across the street. That helped a lot, and people pointing guns at you and all that. I said, "Hey, man, I'm Manley Security. I'm here to help." So, and then at that time, they secured the hallway, and then they were just slowly getting closer and closer to the room. And we saw this on camera. Okay. When I think till somebody had called out SWAT, had already made it to the property, or, I think they call it Zebra Team. The Zebra Team made it to the property. Zebra Team. So we went down to 32-135, and I showed them the room. I literally just 31-135. Okay. So all right. I literally just leaned into the room and opened up the doors. This is what the dude has to see. He's right above us. This is the layout. So, yeah, it helped them because the room has like a bar area here. And they would have said, if we didn't know that was there, okay. See, so you took the zebra guys that was going to breach and showed them 135 or 31-135. Yeah, because they wanted to come up from underneath. It's interesting. It's interesting because I don't know. Putting that together is just a pain in the ass. Let's see. At least visually. Um, they all started. They started banging out all the lights. Just the element of surprise. It might like this is the layout, guys. This is what you're about to walk into. And all right, cool, we got it. Quick little layout of the room. They went up, did what they did, and that's when they breached the room. Okay, and did you stay up on the floor after that? Yes. Okay, yes, because I remember the sergeant of the zebra team told my manager, since he was in civilian clothes, to give me his keys, because they could identify me easier than they could identify him. What? Give me his. He was in civilian clothes to give me his keys. Told the manager since. Oh my god! Because I remember the sergeant of the zebra team told my manager, since he was in civilian clothes, to give me his keys. Okay, so security guards holding the keys. All right. So I stayed up there, just opening up doors or storage rooms, or letting them know where the stairwells, what rooms are here, what rooms are there, pretty much all night. When you could finally relieve, 7:45 in the morning. Uh, so when the original call starts coming out, we start hearing radio traffic. You said you were at lunch. Do you remember about what time that was? I would say around 10 o'clock, 10:05, in that ball range. All right, so he's getting the call. Campos was hit sometime between 10 and 10:05. That actually kind of does help, right? We have an issue. We have an issue. Um, if this guy's legitimate. Okay, and then just for argument's sake, we'll say 10:05. How soon till you're on the elevator with those first two units heading up to the tower? So this plays more into the 9:59 timeline of Campos than anything else. It doesn't play into the 10:06 because 10:06 Campos was hit at 10:06. Why would the radio traffic at 10:05 be that Campos was hit? I would think you would have at least, I don't know, maybe a 20-second lag time between Campos getting hit and Campos actually being able to call it in, and then maybe a little more on that as far as that message getting around on the radios, unless everybody could actually hear Campos saying it on the radio. I don't know, which I don't think is what the case was. I don't think it's what the case was at all. Um, but regardless, even if that is the case, 10:05 does not fit. Let's see. Okay, without breaking a sweat, yeah, 2 minutes, fairly quick. Wait, whoa. Okay. If argument's sake, how soon till you're on the elevator with those first two units heading up to the tower? Oh, 2 minutes. Without breaking a sweat, yeah, 2 minutes, fairly quickly. Yeah, because I remember the graveyard guys were coming out of the briefing, and I saw one or two of them let's go up to Upper Drive. That's when I started my very, very slow walk. And like I said, the Metro officers were coming in hot, like they were sweating. They were rushing in there. Yeah, easily. No more than 2 minutes. We were already up on the floor with the first two officers. Okay, and then so you get those guys up there. So you made a couple trips down, get all the units up there. Do you remember? Um, did you have to scribe anything for Anthony or Tony? Anthony Stottle. Scribe. Did you write stuff down? Oh, scribe. Who uses that fucking terminology? No, nothing has been written down. This is the very first interview or debriefing I've had. Okay, since the event. That night, you didn't write down the names of guests that you were getting off the room. I must have given it to the officer that was up there. All right, but you did have it right. I know. Yes. Well, I got some of them. You guys want them, okay? But you remember doing that though. Yes, because of the sergeant said they were getting closer and closer, so they were moving everybody out of the rooms, and I guess they got up to 114. Okay, all right. Um, okay, no, they actually got to 114. Then I guess at the very end was 13 123. So they were, yeah, like 10 doors away or 10 rooms away from actually breaching it. 13. This guy's all fucked up. Okay. Let's see when they said head down because Zebra team's here. So they want to go underneath and make entry from underneath the room. Okay, cool. When you were up there, literally, did you see redacted come out of the hallway or anything? Oh, okay, Paddock. So they're talking about probably Sottle and his bullshit where Paddock came out of the room. No, I did not see him because I think he came down to baggage, like he booked it. What? Oh, they talk about Campos. I wonder. Yeah, it must be talking about Campos. When you were up there initially, did you see? I'm guessing Campos come out of the hallway or anything. No. I did not see him because I think he came down to baggage, like he booked it. Like, because I guess, like he told me that like shit, I felt like a warm sensation on my leg. Yeah, he's talking about Campos. It started burning a little bit. I'm like, yeah, that's usually what happens when you get shot, man. Like it hurts. How do you know? And he's like, I called it in, and I went down the 200 wing. He went down 200 wing. He went down 200 wing. Huh. All right. I went down the baggage to the baggage storage, and that's where he just laid low for a bit. I didn't meet him until I took 2 or 3 police officers who were going to respond to I think the Paris, because reports of an active shooter on that side of the property or the strip. Because I remember taking them down and jumping on the bell cart and driving them down Las Vegas Boulevard to Russell, where their vehicles were at. Okay. All right. So we have a timeline here. Um, we have a timeline of Campos that does not fit. Um, if this guy's legit, 10 o'clock to 10:05 is when he thinks that call came through, that Campos was hit, which does fit with the original timeline of 9:59. Uh, then this bullshit right here. Campos was not in the hallway by the time he got up there, which 10:17 was when we actually had eyes on the actual door, I believe, if I remember right from that video. That was 10:17 when they're actually at the door, which gives them about a minute and a half to walk down the hallway. So by the end of the shooting, Campos had run out of that hallway all the way down the 200 wing and gotten the fuck out of there, because otherwise these guys came up the 200 wing, right? So that puts Campos off the 32nd floor, takes him off of the 32nd floor by 10:15. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Don't know when he got out of there. And that's when I was running out. The very first time I saw, let's see, redacted at not the first time, but after the event. Yeah. Okay. Was he attended by medical at that point? No, he was already wrapped up, so he'd already been treated. Yeah, he'd already been treated. His pants were all ripped open, so like he was cool. He's like, yeah, look, man, I got shot in the leg. I'm like, well, you're fine. So I just kept running with the guys to get them to their vehicles. So I ripped up his pant leg. Well, they cut it, I'm sure, but does it look cut in the video? I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's see. Okay, do you remember encountering the engineer guy up there? I saw Blank, which is the senior watch of the shift manager, Jesus, a heavier set Hispanic guy, and some newer white dude, slick back hair. He saw Shuck. He fucking saw Shuck. Wow. Holy shit. He saw Shuck. But he's only up there for 5 minutes or something like that. He was semi-new to the property, so obviously he's not going to know as much as probably Redacted does, because the Redacted is always up at Mandalay Bay Tower. Let's see. So once he kind of saw that he was not necessarily very useful, he just left. Okay. Or I think they told him to leave too. All right, so told Shuck, hey Shuck, get the fuck out of here. Oh, this one's crazy. But yeah, let's see. Redacted was up there for a while. Redacted was up there for a good, oh man, I wouldn't want to say an hour, but it could have easily been an hour with everything that was happening. He was up there for a while, and then Redacted was up there. But yeah, the other gentleman, 5-10 minutes. So they didn't keep Shuck up there, huh? Okay, at most, let's see. Were you up there when SWAT breached the room? No, I was in 31. He was on floor 31. You're right. You were down. No, yeah, because I know how they breach rooms, and I don't want to get. Let's see. So you were on 31 when it happened. I was right underneath them, 31, 135. I heard the bang. Okay. Do you remember what time that occurred? No. Okay. No idea. How did everything feel? Did it feel pretty quick? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was one thing after another. Zeep team cleared the hallway. SWAT guys came in, and the SWAT guys knew what they were going to do. And they took care of business pretty damn quickly. Okay. Do you have anything else? Okay. Appreciate your time, operator, whatever the fuck. Let's see. So this was reviewed 2017. 10/21, huh? By J5814L. Another fucking stormtrooper with no name. Oh, man. All right. I wonder how long this one's going to be. So I don't know if I want to get fucking involved. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Why not? Let's keep the party going. Okay. Detective B. Penny. All right. And the Mandalay Bay attorney. Oh, geez. Who's this going to be? Let's see. It's a chica. 10/8. All right. So, week later. Exactly a week later at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All right. Waited a little while to get to this one. Let's see. This interview is taking place approximately 2 o'clock. Mandalay Bay and Human Resources. I wonder where their Human Resources is. That fucking place. Also present for the interview is Redacted from Mandalay Bay. This interview is being referenced. This event, which is be an active shooter investigation. Yeah, who cares? Let's see. You realize it's being recorded. What was that? I'm sorry. You realize it's being recorded? Yes. Okay. The reason why we're here is we're conducting the investigation for the shooting that occurred last Sunday night. And through our investigation, we learned that you had prior contact with our suspect, Stephen Powell. Stephen Powell? Huh. Stephen Powell? Where the fuck we get Stephen Powell from? And who is Stephen Powell? What the? Okay. Anyway, can you tell me about that contact with him when you first met him? Well, I mean, just like everybody else, the guests, they do check in. They do check in the cabanas. He never really checked in. It was girlfriend Mary Lou, always come in. Her name is never on the reservation. This is always his name. What? So one day, they checked they asked for an ID. It doesn't match, of course, because it was under his name. And so I had to call VIP services and verify that, she's actually in the room with him. And they said yes. So I let her check in the cabana. But she was a little bit kind of upset about it. Ooh. Somebody's privileged. Okay. So we kind of like hit it off a little bit. Doesn't sound like it. She's upset. So we're just talking, and I took them to the cabana. Took them. Uh, since I guess we have the same. She's Filipino. I'm Filipino. So we talk and just talking, and she's just talks to me, and she's like, "Oh, I lost so much money last night and all this stuff," and just like a little bit of conversation, and then it's like, "Oh well, maybe Steve will be down later." He's actually like gambling last night, and he had such a long night, and he had a long night, like a little bit like conversation like that. But they've been here like about 4 times, I think, and then but he doesn't come down all the time. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. But the last time, that maybe 6 months ago, when he was with her, and they were, in our lazy river cabana. Huh. Lazy river cabana. Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know if we'll be able to find video of that, but hey, who knows? And I'm like he's always like he doesn't say anything though. He always like just kind of wave, and he's always on his laptop. Huh? Doing some business. What kind of business you doing? And that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty much it I can recall. And then the last time that Mary Lou came in, I think they were here September 3rd. They had a bungalow, and the same conversation. She's like, "Oh, Steve probably won't be down because he's had a long night. He gambled pretty much all night last night." And she said she was with her family and everything. So that's all I can pretty much recall. Wonder if that's when she took her family to Reno. Okay, so the interactions you had with Mary Lou and Steve, you said that's been like about 4 times, like 4 times this year, or 4 times in total, like 4 times total, like maybe a couple years. Okay, yeah. So over the last couple years, you've seen him maybe 4 times. When you were talking about her coming down and her name not being in the registry, and you had to call like VIP services. That's the first time you interacted with her, or was that this year? Um, that was the first time. Okay, so that was the very time. Yeah, yeah. So she always asked for me. Okay, every time she checks in because she knows basically kind of like I know who she is. So that's why she always asks for me. Okay, so the cabanas are always in his name. So a couple of years ago was the first time you met her. She came down to check in, asked for ID. Her name was not on the reservation. Had to call VIP services, ensure her name was on the room. She was upset because she couldn't get in. You started a normal conversation with her, related to her because they're both Filipino. She became more at ease once it was verified that she was on the room or she was escorted to. Okay. All right. And the cabana. So she couldn't get into the room. All right. And then interactions were mainly with her because when Stephen would come down, he was very reserved, always on his laptop. Cursory greetings, wave hello, but there was never any interaction between the two of you. And then the last time she was down here was September 3rd in a bungalow. Yes. Did he come down at all? He did not. Okay. But she mentioned he was on the property because, yeah, he had been gambling all night and he may or may not show up, but never did. Yeah. Okay. Mary Lou, she a friendly woman? Yeah, very friendly. Okay. Uh, and were they the type of guests that were a pleasure to take care of their cabana or a nightmare guest? No, no, no. They were Yeah, it was a pleasure taking care of them. Yeah. It sounds like an honest answer. Okay, yeah. They weren't demanding or anything. It sounds like she was actually. No, not at all. Okay, did you have any interaction with him like one on one? Mary Lou wasn't there. Did you ever have an occurrence to talk to him specifically? No, I did not. Okay, so Mary Lou kind of took care of everything and he was just there. Yeah, basically. Okay, and when he was at the cabana, was there any change of demeanor of Mary Lou, or was she just same type of person, same normal person? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's the same. Okay. It's not like he would show up and she would be timid around him or anything, or she'd be more reserved around his presence. No. Okay. Not that I noticed. That's kind of interesting. Oh, okay, because I see where he's going with that. That's interesting. Um, all right. Let's see. Okay, is there anything you think about them together or him individually that would raise any suspicions? Like, would you happen to just anything that made you, gave you a weird vibe dealing with them? No, not at all. I mean, but like I recall, like he's always on his laptop, but then, everybody is always making bets and all that stuff. And people, like, I've never thought, you know what I mean? Okay, nothing unusual. How did you find out that he was associated with the event from last Sunday? Did you see it on the news? Or I did. I saw it. Okay. In the news, I was like, I know that guy. Okay. Did you see Mary Lou's pictures first or Stevens? I saw Mary Lou's picture first. Okay. And as soon as you saw her picture, you recognized her. Yeah, that, yes. Um, and then when you saw a picture like, oh, those are, yeah, and I put two and two together. Okay, when you saw that on the news, were you surprised? Yes, I was. I was. Okay, just because they seem like average normal people. That is correct. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you can think of that might be able to help us out, or anything else that in your interactions with them that raised any red flags? No, not that. Not that I think of. I mean, like I said, she always talk about how much money they gambled and stuff like that. But then, like for us, I mean, people talk a lot, how much money they lost, and we're like, oh, okay. I mean, all right. Yeah. So, all right. Appreciate your time. Thank you. All right. Review by Quinteros, 10, 17, 17. All right. I think that was a pretty important one. I think both those have been pretty important. And that's it for me for tonight. I think I'm done with that. Let's see. I didn't get very far on this one, man. Take a couple more videos. Anyway, have a good night. Stay safe in this crazy, fucked up world. Stay out of Afghanistan. It's a shithole. And later.